The most common question we get, and we get it every day, is how much does it cost to hire a lawyer? The answer is it depends. You probably thought I was going to say that. But I want to tell you a little bit about what goes into how a lawyer determines what fees they're going to charge and why some lawyers are going to charge more than others. There's several factors that go into how much a lawyer decides to charge. And generally those are experience, training, specialization, reputation, and time. Let me talk about each one of those just a little bit. Experience is obvious. If somebody's been practicing criminal law for 35 plus years, they have more experience, they've seen more cases than somebody who just graduated from law school last week. But experience doesn't always mean that you've been a lawyer for a long time. Some lawyers may switch practice areas and they may have been a lawyer for 35 years, but they just got into criminal defense. So you need to look at not only how long a lawyer's been licensed, how long they've been practicing, but how long they've been doing the specific type of law that involves your particular problem. Training is another issue that determines fees. You might think that all lawyers receive the same training, and to an extent that's true. We all go to law school, we all graduate, we all get a law degree, and then we all pass the bar. But from then on, the training kind of differs depending on what kind of law you want to practice. Some areas now, especially criminal defense, require a lot of specialized knowledge in areas that aren't necessarily related to the law. For example, forensics has become a huge issue in defending most cases. And there are now programs that are dedicated to that have nothing to do with the law, but they're specifically aimed at the forensic aspects and the forensic issues that may come up in particular cases. DWI is another. DWI is a highly specialized area of the law, not because the law is complicated, but because the science that is used to establish whether or not you're guilty is extremely complicated. And many lawyers go on to get training in blood alcohol analysis, breath testing, and field sobriety testing. And some lawyers like myself have even gone through and obtained the field sobriety certification, which is the same testing that the officers get to perform the field sobriety test on the side of the road. Specialization is another area. When I started practicing 35 plus years ago, probably most lawyers did a little bit of everything. The experience with doctors has been pretty much the same. Years ago, you had a family practice doctor, and that doctor took care of everything, unless you had something pretty specific. Now, everyone is specialized. If you have heart problems, you go to a heart specialist. If you have foot problems, you go to a podiatrist. Law is no different. It's become more and more specialized, and now we have specific areas where lawyers can become specialized by taking exams and getting certified. Reputation is one that sometimes is hard to establish. There's one way that you can know for sure what a lawyer's reputation is, and that's if you know another lawyer. Because most lawyers, at least in their own community, know the reputation of lawyers that practice there. If that's not the case, then you're going to probably have to do a little digging. You can look at things like reviews. You can look at other cases they've handled, which fortunately there's more and more press coverage of cases now. So especially in criminal defense, you can find a lot of coverage on cases that some lawyers have been involved in. And then the final factor, and probably the one that probably determines more often than not what a lawyer charges, is the time they're going to spend on your case. There's really two types of approaches to practicing law. There's the McDonald's approach, and then there's the specialized approach. McDonald's serves a lot of hamburgers, and they do it, and they're based on a volume practice. That is, in order to do that, you have to handle a large number of cases, and you have to do it for a fairly small fee. Obviously, there's only so many hours in any particular day, so if you're charging a low fee and you're having to handle a lot of cases, you're not able to spend as much time on each particular case. Other lawyers take a different approach, and they want to devote as much time as possible to each particular case, And so they're going to charge a higher fee because they're not going to be handling as many cases so that they can devote the time that you need to your case. You have to make the decision about what you're willing to pay for and whether your case really needs the time and attention that may be necessary to get the proper result in your case. So I know I haven't answered the question as to what specific costs are, but we'll be glad to sit down and talk with you as it applies to your case and let you know our evaluation and whether we're even the right lawyer for you.